So I'm a quarter Apache, and the rest is other stuff, Danish mainly. You know, with our reservation, you can be quarter enrolled. You know, with a quarter, you're automatically part of the tribe. But we're a small reservation, so, you know, that's just the way it works. Although I got my daughter enrolled too, but you have to go through the council to do that if you do less than a quarter. You have to get it approved. You know, I know for me, it means a lot to be part of something, to be part of the tribe, to know some history, to know about your family means so much more. When I was born, they lived in the rock shop, my mother and father. You know, kind of the way we grew up is, well, I never went to school until I was 24. So it was the first time I went to school, and because my dad was, you know, very religious, and he thought that the government was evil, and that if you sent your kids to school, they'd brainwash them. And so, and he didn't believe that people should work because the Bible says you shouldn't honor any man, so therefore you shouldn't work. And so, you know, we were taught just to stay at home and work on his work. You know, so I learned how to polish stones, and I learned how to paint eyes on these rock concerts, and you know, we lived in motels all around the state. We'd stayed in a motel for a couple months here, a couple months there. Slept in cars. We're homeless for a long time, too. I remember 4 times in my childhood we lived in a house for maybe about a year, maybe 6 months to a year. The rest of the time was always in motels. It was a good experience growing up. It was good and bad, you know. The part where you're really hungry isn't good. But the part where, you know, I was learning how to make art with very minimal amounts of items. I learned this year that I can't perform if I just sit here 8 hours a day and make jewelry. I have to like be here one day making it, maybe 2 days max, and then I have to go meet somebody just to get outside of my own head and to have some new ideas to think about why I make it. You know, not our ideas, just ideas, social problems, you know, economic problems, you know, just the mix, all the problems in the world in the mix, and all the joy in the world is all that mixed together. And, you know, and so I think of that, and I can just go on those thoughts forever and stay up making it. If you're Native American, you should only make Native American looking stuff. And then if you do, you're kind of damned, yep. You know, because you're typed into, you can only do that. You know, what's sad is, yeah, I go into places, I'm light-skinned, and so people can't necessarily tell. If they don't ask, I usually don't tell them. They don't treat natives nice. You know, Sedona's, you know, it's a beautiful place. There's a lot of tourism, so it's a good place to get some of your artwork out. However, you know, I think that the way galleries have marketed themselves in Sedona is to an old style, and I think that style's crumbling a little bit. You know, what I find when I go to Sedona is it's much easier to set up in a roadside stand and sell, because people want to deal with the artist. They want the experience of the artist. They don't want the experience of the gallery representative telling them who the artist is. They want to meet the artist themselves.
It's definitely a newborn.
You know, this plaza is so expensive that usually you get a certain clientele from here. So even if your work's not selling here, it's still getting your name recognized by a lot of people. So that's kind of the benefit. My name is Matagi, by the way. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Bridget.
Bridget. I usually deal with Isa,
nice
so
meeting you.
yeah.
Look, I have it here.
No, I have some bracelets I put in here.
Oh, you have to bead a bracelet?
Yeah, I'm one of the artists. No,
here,
no beading.
What do you have?
It's carved silver. It's a carved silver cuffs.
Oh yeah, they're right.
And some pendants. Oh, they're hidden.
And that's what I said. I have the ring. You do the rings too, don't you?
Oh yeah, I do the rings, and that's one of my pendants there too.
Yeah,
so.
and I put some rings out here because.
Oh, right here, gotcha.
Just so they might sell better, but nothing happened yet. Nothing ever happened.
There too. Interesting.
Yeah, no, really.
I always have mixed feelings, you know. I like it when I'm by myself here. I get absolutely disgusted when I see people doing tours here and talking about Native mythology and telling stories about the place. That disturbs me because I feel like they're just trying to make money off it meaning something to a group of people, and they don't even understand what they're talking about necessarily. You know, Sedona was, you know, this special kind of sacred red rock place. You know, that's kind of where we emerge as a person, you know, going back to the creation story. And when I was growing up, it was my uncle who told me that we were never supposed to, our family, were never supposed to live in Sedona or anywhere where the Red Rocks were, because the Red Rocks were a place that you only came and visited, but you didn't actually live there. Sedona does a lot for me. You know, I come here, you know, quite frequently, and, you know, it's an amazing place, and it definitely has special significance, you know. You can feel, you know, there's a tie back to this area. But I also think that has, and I get a similar feeling when I go to Camp Verde, I also think that has to do with that's where your family is from, that's where your roots are from. But knowing that you belong to a place changes a lot, too.
I got it actually with help from my tribe. I went to a bank and worked on my credit and applied for my own mortgage loan. And then the tribe put down a percentage to help me with the closing cost, and sort of not quite a co-signing, but similar to that, where they help you financially with a small amount. But for the majority, it's under my name, and it's mostly under my credit, and so it's a home mortgage.
By creating houses or by helping with a mortgage, like we've done here, as Naomi explained, is they created a sense of ownership and a sense of community and a need for people to want to develop their own living space versus, you know, years ago you had the idea of just kind of standard reservation housing, HUD housing. When the tribe steps in and creates a program like this, where you can opt into having extras put on your house or not, or really create it as your own space, it demands so much more of a respect for it than it does as if it's not really yours. It's almost like you're borrowing it in the other system that, you know, some reservations have. So I think what they did here was really good. And I think that, you know, that's a great way to spend the casino monies, you know. Few people at a time developing a place and really creating a home and really creating a community. A lot of people, you know, have moved off the reservation and they do other things, but regardless of whatever they do, they're still a member of the tribe. And the tribe exists, you know, because of its community, because of the members. It doesn't matter if the people live here or the people live off the reservation, they're all still members.
Well, I think that it's important for me to live on the reservation because I feel that some of us have to stay here. Mm-hmm. This is the home base. You have to keep it. And I know that if we all traveled away and lived elsewhere, there wouldn't be any need for the government to keep our land for us. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see them dissolving it or doing something. So I think it is also important in a different way, protecting your position physically by living here. And so, you know, I understand people that need to move off because they may be specializing in something in particular, like Matagi is. He has to go elsewhere to develop that. I don't have to. What I do is nearby, mm-hmm. and my work is more involved with my people, so it works for me to stay home.
I really do think that people do have to stay on the reservation. I think that when you are part of a reservation or when you're part of a community like this, you never really can forget it, and you never should forget it. That, you know, whether it be here, you know, working here, or whether you go to DC to work, you always should represent your tribe. You someday I might go back to the reservation too. I always do have those pains, of wanting to go back. I just, I don't really know what I would do there. I don't see a future there necessarily. I see a future maybe in cultural studies or something like that, but not for a family. I would love to jump into a government position at some point. And, I don't know exactly how I'd do it, but I'd love to work in the tribal government or a tribal government, or do something in DC or somewhere where, I feel like I'm making a difference. Before, when I worked in tourism, one of the things I loved a lot was going to the council chambers and listening to what they're saying and watching how it works, and trying to get to know the politics of things is very fascinating. And in tribal governments, you actually can make a difference.